We're snorting cap rates and shooting up cash flow here at Deal Junkies. Welcome back. We're the Deal Junkies. I'm Gabe Johansson. I'm here with Trevor Howard and Dane McKinney.
I'm Dane McKinney.
And we want to talk about whatever Trevor wants to talk about. We asked Trevor what gets him excited. We're putting him on the spot. What gets you excited, Trevor? What do you like to talk about?
I think deals. Deals is my favorite thing. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
You have to ask Dane what gets you excited?
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing that he talks about the most. But he just talks about.
Do you know what being excited feels like?
I'm excited all the time, so yeah.
It's
the only thing I feel.
What's it feel like when you're excited? Do you get amped?
I don't like these questions. I like asking questions.
Hey, one of your goals for 2025 was to become a real boy. And so to do that, you have to know what it feels like to be excited.
We're helping phrasing on
closing deals is exciting.
Yeah, like Pinocchio.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering.
Trevor, our Trevbot, Trev GPT. So, you what gets you juiced, Trevor? Like, what gets the adrenaline flowing? What makes you hyped? Like, you're like,
I think buying deals.
Let's do it more.
Buying deals. Yeah,
you like to buy deals, or you like to talk about buying deals?
I like to acquire deals.
I was going to say, I think you like the process more than you like the actual closing of it.
I don't think I like the process. It's kind of annoying. I want the deals, and the people aren't giving me the deals.
Yeah, but once you get the deal, you don't like the deal anymore anyway because you already got it. You just want to go do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what gets you juiced is being annoyed, is what you're saying. You like to be annoyed.
No,
Makes you feel alive.
I like buying deals. I want to buy more deals.
So let's talk about, recently we've been talking about trying to make more offers and work on stuff. How's that been going?
I think it's going. I think it's just.
That's not an answer.
Sorry, I think it's
good.
It's going.
Well, so
either good or bad. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I'm spending 10 hours a week of just sending offers on everything to try, because you send more offers, you'll get more.
And are you getting anything under contract?
Well, we're 1 week in since we started doing this.
I know. How long does it take you? What are you waiting for?
Okay, cool.
How many offers did you write?
Okay, cool.
So I sent out a bunch of official offers that they shit on me for.
Why'd they shit on you?
Whoa.
So
were they bad offers?
I thought they were good offers. They were at the prices they told me to send them at. So these dudes send out super motivated seller. We got this deal, blah, blah, blah. So
Oh, this is the one I sent you.
Yeah. So
they put on send out a e-blast to all the brokers to say we have a very motivated seller. Whenever I see that, I send it to Trevor. I said, all right, call these guys, see how motivated they are.
Get in there.
Yep.
How motivated were they?
Not at all, apparently.
So you offered them like a low ball offer?
I gave them a couple. I gave them at.
Give us an example. Tell us about a deal.
So they said we think they'll take 4.2
on what kind of deal?
It's a 42 unit, 44 unit,
multifamily,
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so they blast out
one bed studios.
So they have a very motivated seller, 42 unit deal for how much?
It's listed at like 5.5 or something.
Oh, 5.5
to 5.3, and we've seen this over and over. I mean, we bought a deal that started at 6.8, and we bought it for 3.2. Yeah. So and it's a very similar deal to that, and the structure of it, and not the structure of the actual building, but size, unit count, size of the units, like where the rents are. Very similar.
So you pick up the phone, you call these guys, or you send them an email?
I called them, talked about the structures. They're like, I don't really know. They're kind of wishy-washy.
Did you ask them what they meant when they said they were highly motivated?
No, I should have said that. I should have. I asked about seller motivations and what they were doing, and they just bought the deal with the intent to develop next to it, or something fell apart during COVID. Now they have this thing that they
don't want.
They don't want it. They're not managers. They don't.
So they're not emotionally tied to it. It's not something they want to hold.
Yeah.
Why did they say why they're highly motivated? Why they think they're highly motivated?
No, I should have asked more about the seller.
Did you know that your power is in your question asking ability?
Yeah, I forgot.
And you're very good at asking questions. So sometimes when you get on the phone with somebody, you should use your superpower and ask people questions.
I'll use that. But anyway, so I write them a couple offers that I thought would fit, or at least get the conversation going to let's get this going. So I pitched them on hey, they can stay in the deal. We can do this. Here's all the different ways. They didn't want to stay in the deal, but they'd carry a note and let us wrap debt potentially. So that's one of the options I gave them. And then they shit on that option.
What do you mean they shit on it? What'd they do? They actually
They just wrote me a mean email.
Well, why was it mean? What did they say?
Just insult. They're like, thanks for your generously shitty offer, basically.
What did they actually say?
It was thanks for your generously low offer, I think is what it was worded.
Okay.
So that means that they didn't like the price you offered.
Yeah, so I was like, tell me what you want. So they told me what I want. I was like, we could do that kind of. I was like, and then I told them, here's the math of the deal. I would love to pay you more.
Show me how.
Show me how I can. And then they just didn't like that.
So the brokers don't understand math, or they don't understand the deal, or they just know that the seller wants a certain price and he's not going to lower the price.
I don't know. What do you think? You're a broker.
Yeah, I think that to say when you go out and advertise, well, here, let me say this. As brokers, we are responsible. We have a fiduciary responsibility to our client. We act on their behalf. That's why they call us an agent. We act as an agent. So when we email, send a text, whatever, that's legally binding. I mean, that's in writing from the seller, right? And so it's our responsibility to understand the deal. And when an offer is presented, one of the things I don't like about text and email and verbal offer over the phone is that by law even though that is technically legally binding, Oregon law does not require you to submit that to your seller. And so when you write an actual offer, they are bound by law to deliver that offer to the seller. So if you ever feel like a broker is blocking you from getting to the seller, you can just write an offer. Now, does everybody follow that rule? Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. We do. We always submit it. Now, I might submit that offer to my client and go, here's a shitty offer. Don't pay. I
got to show it to you.
And I'm sending it to you because I have to, but pay no attention to it because we'll get you a lot more. But what's interesting is at least then it hits the seller's inbox, and on that day, they may be like, you know what? I want to talk to these guys. I'm interested in talking to them. At least you have the opportunity. So I think that doing a written offer, an LOI, a text, an email is all, to me, it's just toilet paper. It doesn't mean anything. So an actual offer is an offer, and it still doesn't really mean anything because you've got all the contingencies and stuff that you can get out of that deal. But at least it's a legally binding contract. Everybody sign it. You took the time to underwrite the deal, write an offer, and send it. Like, you should get a response of, hey, thank you for bringing me an offer. This isn't going to work, but let's talk about how we might be able to make it work. And here are the reasons why it doesn't work. You've got a bad broker on the other side of that who says, F you, we don't like your offer, get lost.
Yeah, I told them, I was like, here's where I can project rents to go to. Here's why I think it's this price. Here's where my underwriting is. Like, this market, you sell all the deals here. Tell me if I'm wrong, and I will give you more money.
But brokers they're not investors. They're not thinking about where the market's going to go, where the rents are going to go, what your assumptions are. They don't underwrite to that level, really. They just know that here are the comps. Things are selling at a 5.5 cap. Here's this property. Here's the income, the expense. We're trying to sell it for a 5 cap. And we know we're rich, but make us an offer. We'd rather lower the price and just sell the thing and be done with it, and not have to think about all these creative structures and stuff.
Yeah, so that's one I think we'll actually buy because no one else will, and then we'll just keep doing it every week or other week.
So, yeah, there's a saying for this, that the deal's not ripe yet. And so it's cool to come in, and every time, even as a broker, if you've listed something and you know that it's overpriced, you should always ask people to bring you offers, even if it's low. This is what I don't understand about real estate, is brokers are like, they feel like if you write them a lowball offer, that it's like makes them look bad or puts them in the hot seat. But the reality is it softens the listing, even if it sucks. Like, if they wanted, what'd you say, $5 million?
Yeah, no, they want 4.2. So like
4.2.
So they have it listed at 5.7. They're like, we'll take 4.2.
And what'd you write at?
One at 4.2, but it was them carrying some.
And then what was your cash deal at?
I think we were at like 3.5.
3.5. So they're listed at 5 something, and you wrote them an offer for 3.5, knowing that they'll take 4.2. Well, first question I have is, if they're highly motivated and they're on the market for over $5 million, but they'll take 4.2, why don't they lower the price on the market to 4.2?
I don't know.
This just sounds like, I don't know. I think
we talk about lowball offers a lot, but we don't talk about highball prices. Okay. That's a new, freshly coined term.
Highball.
Yeah. Highballing me.
You're
highballing me. But it's like, what are we doing here? Because frankly, when you're looking at it and you're saying, hey, here's where my underwriting hits, you've got a high ball price here. Like, let's both hit reality a little bit. I don't even think I'm being like, you were being genuine with your offers. Like, we typically send the offer that's like the most we can actually pay. Like, we're never like, this is the most we can pay. Let's cut off another 20%.
We're putting our best foot forward.
Yeah.
We're not trying to really.
We're not lowballing.
No, I have another example of that. So, because I sent a couple more offers. So I offered on a 13 unit also, and it was like $280 a door. But it's worth like $150 a door. They list that. And it was a resi broker who has it, and he knew it was overpriced and whatnot, but he doesn't know like by how much or anything really about it. He's just like, seller wants this, and then it's just sitting forever, right? So I was like, hey, here's my math. Here's where I think it's at. Here's what I think it's worth. Like, and he wants to get the thing sold, so he's like, yeah, send it over. Like, let's figure this thing out. Or I'm like, yeah, we'll hit that price, but we'll pay you like no money down, and if you'll carry it like 1 to 2% interest, like,
and we got to pay it off in 30 years.
Yeah. And he's like, that sounds great, actually. Like, that's
one of the questions. I mean, I don't know. I love to ask the question, how did you get to this number? But both from a seller and a buyer, right? When you get an offer. And so when you're doing the due diligence to spend the time to underwrite the deal for the broker who either hasn't underwrote it or doesn't know how, a buyer's going to look at it through a different lens than a broker is. A broker is just going to try to get to the highest number they can possibly get to. That's our job. And the buyer is going to look at it more like how it's really going to operate. So there's going to be a delta between the two always. Even with a very sophisticated seller and buyer and brokers and everybody involved, there's always going to be a delta in there. And so the good news is brokers mostly don't know how to underwrite, and oftentimes they'll do it wrong to our advantage. And you look at it and go, oops, they didn't see this, and we get to go in and make $500,000 on day one. But then a lot of the time they're just overpricing the property, and they don't know how they're going to get to the number, but they're selling it more in a residential way where it's just like, well, the other one sold for that, so we want to sell this one for that. And it's like, okay, well, the math is wrong. The math doesn't work. So if it doesn't math, then how do we make it math so that we can get there, right? And that's what you're asking them. You're going, I'm a spreadsheet guy, I'm an underwriter, and I'm asking you, how do I get to the number? I want to get to the number. They're going, well, we listed at 5.2. They're highly motivated. Well, first off, if they'll take 4.2 and they're listed at 5.2, they're not highly motivated. And then secondly, if you write them an offer and you say it's really worth 3.6, or we'll pay you 4.2, but you got to be creative with us and do some carry part of it or do something, then they're just not really, they're lying. I mean, they're just, the broker is highly motivated to get a paycheck, but they don't want to do any work for it. They didn't want to underwrite the deal. They didn't want to price it correctly. And now they're getting an offer with somebody who is actually motivated to buy it, and they want to cut you off at the knees and not help you get to the fin. I mean, what is a broker supposed to be doing?
Make deals.
That's exactly what they're supposed to.
Kill deals.
They're literally supposed to try to find a way to make that deal. Sure, you get a lowball offer. You might tell somebody, like, if it truly was a lowball, and maybe they don't understand that it wasn't, but you don't think it is, but they think it is, right? So, okay, we don't have to get emotional about this. It's just a deal.
Yeah.
Like, you want to get paid selling this.
I was just like, tell me what doesn't work about this and what you do like, what you don't like, and let me see what I can adjust.
That's why they gave you the answer they gave you, because they were pissed at you because you pointed out that they're dumb. That's why they're mad at you.
Yeah,
I'm not making friends.
You're not making friends because you're having a brain
I think
battle.
I need to start communicating with brokers like I communicate with you guys, and you just kind of BS with it and have more fun with it and see how that goes. Because when I do that, then some of the people are really cool, but some of them are like those guys.
Well, first off, before I would sometimes dropping an offer on somebody feels confrontational, and so sometimes what you should do is ask more questions, get on the phone, make friends with them, and then go, look, I want to buy this deal. I've met with my partners. We love this thing, and truly we do want to own it, but we're having a hard time getting there, and we need your help. Help me help you. Like, here's where we're at. We would like to write this offer, but we don't want to put you in a weird spot. How do we go about this? How do we work together to get this seller on board to do a deal? Because what you've done now is you've just pissed off the broker, who's going to in turn take that offer to the seller and say, F these guys, they're lowballing you, which the reality is they're going to find out later on down the road you weren't lowballing them. But what's going to happen is somewhere along the way, somebody's going to pick up that deal for 3.6, and they're going to forget about the fact that a year earlier, Trevor Howard wrote on it for 3.6, and so that's the number.
Speaking of that, so we actually, now that I think about it, we offer on like 8 deals. So we offered on.
How come I don't hear about any of these? I thought I was the VP of acquisitions.
You are. You got to get me in line. So we offered on.
We've got a wild card here. Trevor's out writing offers.
So we offered on 8 unit 2 with Jude. And then we have one that we're negotiating with the bank still. And then we have that the bank said no, not right now, but their broker was like, we think we can do this later. It just needs to become more ripe. So that's going to be one for later. And then we did the one that we lost the 27 unit I was telling you about, where I talked to the dude. I was like, we want to do this deal. He's like, I'll get you the financials after the holiday.
Oh,
I was like,
sold it.
Yeah. And then sold it. We had a full price offer coming in, and they went under contract for freaking like $500,000 less by not calling me back and giving me the financials. So then I wrote them a full price offer after. So we'll wait on that. I bet we buy that still. Because what I find is all these deals go under contract and like half or more fall out. Like,
oh yeah,
because it's not real buy. Like they kind of want to buy.
Let's talk about that. So you called me up the other day and you said, hey, these guys went under contract. We thought we were going to buy this deal. And what did I tell you to do?
Send the full price offer.
Yeah. And why? See, one of the reasons you don't want to be in backup is because you're going to hold the first offer together. Whenever you write a backup offer, all you're going to do is
motivate that.
You're going to motivate the first person. And actually, so this is playing 4D chess now. So we want to make friends with brokers. We want to be in line to buy that deal. We already wanted to buy the deal creatively, and we couldn't because they went under contract for $500,000.
We could buy it either way on that one.
Okay, so we want to buy the deal. We could buy the deal, and somehow somebody got in there in front of us. So the play here is you write a backup offer. You put your best foot forward. You're not putting them, we would call this putting them on a bubble, putting them on a, whatever. Like, you're not necessarily doing that, but what you're doing is you're getting into a backup position if they'll allow you to be in a backup position, so that when that deal fails, which a high percentage of multifamily transactions fall out of contract. Like, I would say probably a third or so, 25, 35%, somewhere in that bracket. Mm-hmm. And so there's a high probability that this deal may come back around. So you might as well be in backup position anyway. But in the meantime, somebody put it under contract for $500,000 less than it was listed for. You already know what their game is. They're going to beat them up again on inspections. They're going to beat them up on appraisal. They're going to beat them up on something. And now with that backup offer in place, that seller feels a little bit more empowered, and the broker feels more confident in his deal to go, no, we're not going to give you what you want because we already have a full price offer in backup. So now that's going to be the conversation every single time. And that buyer is either going to have to do the deal at their number that they're at now, or they're going to have to move on. So we just increase the likelihood of it falling out of contract so that we get a shot at it. We just made friends with the broker because we just put him in a power position. And we made friends potentially with that seller in case that deal falls out. We're going to be behind them and we're going to close that deal, and they're going to want to do other deals with us in the future.
Mm-hmm. And then we offered on a house, actually.
A house?
Because it has.
I hope it's in Maui.
It's a great deal.
It has acreage. It's a land play. Oh, by the way, we need a co-signer for this. We're gonna owner occupy this thing, maybe.
You want me to co-sign a house?
Yeah.
Are you gonna live in it?
Yeah. Move into it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. How much are you gonna pay me to co-sign?
How much is this deal going to make? We'll pay you a quarter of whatever it's going to make.
I want half for this one.
Whoa.
For my signature.
Oh, fair enough. I thought that was what the quarter was for.
Yeah, so we're trying to do a land play on that and build some apartments, and we saw some opportunity there. So
all right,
it's a sweet deal. Been looking at this thing for like a year and a half.
It's another one that had dropped by 40% prices.
So you remember we talked about a few episodes, we talked about the market itself is softening to a point where you can finally do deals because seller expectations are coming down. Banks, we just locked I'm buying a 12 unit up in Astoria with Paul. We just locked a rate at 5.74%. I mean, the 10-year treasury today is at like 470, 475.
How's the bank doing that?
I don't know.
Is it a credit union?
It's a credit union, yeah. But the risk pricing is dropping. So like even though the Fed may not lower rates, and the 10-year is going up, we're seeing like in agency debt and then with some credit unions that they're taking the risk pricing out. And so we're starting to care less about what the Fed does and we're more excited about what's going to happen with the new administration and with where the economy is going and how they're going to affect some changes that they're potentially going to bring in that we think are very positive. I think that house prices will remain high, rates will probably remain high, which is really good for multifamily investors because it's harder and harder to get into a home. Isn't necessarily good for our people who want to buy a home. First-time buyers are really the ones, out in the wind on this, but ultimately it's going to be good because our pipeline for development is emptying out. There's not as much new product coming online, and so if you already own the product, and we're going to have increasing demand because of a really good economy, good household formation, good income, good, the jobs report came out today hot, meaning we have lower unemployment, we have higher, more jobs coming online. Like whenever you look at all those things, you're going to have, from a demand perspective, you're going to have higher demand because the economy is doing well, jobs are doing well. But from a supply side, there's not enough because there's not enough in the pipeline for them to buy. So I think from a housing perspective, I think we're sitting in a really good spot where you're going to go from where we're at currently today with an oversupply, and at some point, I've been saying this for a while, at some point in 2025, I believe it'll happen. In one day, we're going to go from oversupply to undersupply, and you're going to start seeing rents. We'll be able to push rents a little bit. Things are going to start looking a lot better. That's my take. So I think it's a great time to be investing. You're saying like we're buying deals today where we've been offering on them for a year or two. We've been trying to get them and you can't get them. And now finally for the people who truly are motivated, when a broker goes out, and this is one of the things I was going to point out, like when you're brokering a deal, you're never supposed to go tell the world that your seller is highly motivated unless they're like, we need to close a deal in the next 30 days and we just need to dump this thing. Like you shouldn't, I don't know, maybe it's just a marketing tactic, but sure. If you're on the market today for sale at the bottom, this is the bottom. We're dragging the bottom and we're about to come off of it. If you're on the market right now for sale, you are a highly motivated seller. Your broker doesn't need to put that language in your listing. You are highly motivated. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the market right now. Now is not the time. Now is not, if you're trying to time the markets, this is not the time. So they're trying to, they're trying to recapitalize, or they're trying to get off a problem, or they're trying to do something. You are not on the market today. So that's why I say there's so much opportunity. We don't have to go chase all this off-market stuff anymore because everybody that's highly motivated is already out on the market. Their pricing is wrong for the most part, or they wouldn't be on the market.
That's the biggest thing I noticed was setting the time aside to actually go start making deals. And I was like, because now once I start doing that, you're planting the seeds that you now follow up on and go.
Oh, so you're saying instead of talking about deals, you're taking action and you're writing offer on deals.
That's crazy.
Dane was head of acquisitions for
crazy.
Well, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. and we wrote offers and everybody was like, no, this is way too low.
Hey, the deal, the first deal, apartment deal he was going to broker that we bought and it fell apart at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Back.
Oh, yeah. How much? Let's talk about that.
It's the same price.
Which price? They'd raised it and lowered it and raised it
the
again.
Higher price again.
$3 million?
And I told Dane to call them and let's do the deal, and he doesn't want to.
That deal's already done. You just got to lower the price.
Yeah, right, dude. I was scared even at the
I think we'll come
price.
in with our new entity.
Hey, I just closed my first Freddie Mac loan.
So now we're good to go.
Oh, baby.
Logan and I are.
Oh, that's right. In Sutherland.
We're
qualified borrowers now.
We're qualified agency stamp of approval, buddy.
It's exhilarating.
So we're good to
all
go.
Our future debt.
And I could put enough cash into one account to make them happy on that deal now, but I still don't like that deal.
I don't either.
You liked it before because you're making a fee. This is why
you're right.
Brokers don't understand what a fiduciary is, do they? Because
I was buying the deal too, though, so I was like, well, okay, whatever. I'm cheating myself, but
so having $50,000 in fee income was enough to screw yourself over in the long run.
Oh yeah,
lose $1 million buying a property.
Yeah, buddy. I was stoked on it.
You gotta be careful with now.
So expensive.
Now money is a mistress. It's a siren.
She was a siren. Yeah.
She was coming after you. I need that $50,000. I need the $50,000. I'll do a bad deal to make $50,000.
I was so stoked.
It might not have been that bad of a deal.
No, it was. I mean, it was close enough to make it work.
So that broker, when they earn their fee, like they've already earned it. Like she's gonna make like $3 an hour for working on that deal.
Oh yeah.
For the last 3 years?
3 or 4, yeah.
Still trying to get that same price.
Yeah.
Well, a higher price than what it started at. And the funny part on that deal was we needed a 1-week extension and we were going to close it. and they didn't give it to us
The first time.
and then just screwed rates like
Well, because that was when we were at the lower price, and they were like, we know we can hit a higher price. And I was
they
like,
raised it by $250,000.
I don't think you can.
And then never sold it.
What's that on the market for?
$3 million.
Offer them 2.5.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, offer him 2.5. VP.
Okay, I'm
or
head
VP.
of,
head.
No.
Let's explain.
He's VP of
Head of writing offers.
Let's help them understand the market has gone down and not up.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll do the deal.
So what's the takeaway here?
Oh,
The market's getting better. Trevor's writing offers, and doing is better than talking.
and we did this with our other company now too, of helping other people do deals. We realized like, our biggest bottleneck was actually just trying to do deals. We were spending too much time managing deals that were under contract and not enough time like trying to do deals. Like, no, you just have to try to do deals. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Just write offers, have the conversations, talk to more people, look at more deals, underwrite more deals, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the same mistake that a lot of brokers fall into is they get a pipeline going, they get a few deals in their pipeline, and they start just focusing only on getting those to the finish line, and then they get to the finish line, they don't have a pipeline anymore. So the same thing happens when you're an investor. And in my opinion, if you're an active investor, you've always got deals in your pipeline. You're always buying. You might always be selling. You're always refinancing. You're always looking for loans. Like, this is something that's part of your everyday. It's not sometimes I buy, sometimes I sell. If you're truly an active investor, you're doing all of those activities all the time. So if you're not offering, if you're not making offers, you're not giving yourself a fair shot.
Oh, side note, something interesting that Mike was talking about at the meetup yesterday. He was talking about how like a real investor is looking at how much they can make in 6 months on a deal, not 10 years, which is kind of opposite of like how we buy deals.
That's why Gabe's worth more.
That was his whole
Mike's not here, so he can't defend himself. You guys explain to me the logic behind that.
Do you remember you were sitting there listening or no?
No.
A real investor looks at what they can make in 6 months and not in 10 years.
They were having a bear versus bull debate. It was a lender versus Mike having this debate on stage.
Okay.
The lender was talking about 10-year outlooks when he's investing, and Mike was like, no, all the money is made in the first 6 months on the deal because you're doing the value add play, taking it to where you can now, and then you're not banking on anything else in the future value of real estate. And then I was like, well, our business play on a lot of deals is we will pay top.
You were on stage
now.
too?
No. I was listening. No. I was in the crowd. And then
So you were talking to yourself?
I was thinking. Sorry.
Oh, there was a little thought bubble over Trevor's head.
I was just
the
like,
way we
that's,
buy deals.
The gears
that's
were
actually the
turning.
opposite of what we do on a lot of these.
Yeah.
We buy.
No, I mean he's sort of right.
If you're well, it depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you're talking about big equity pop, value add, flipping, things like that, wholesaling, it's all very short term. If you're looking at, I just want to put my name on assets and get my returns over. I mean, that's a much different, but it's also a different asset type. And I think that's one thing you have to segregate is residential versus commercial. Like a residential play might very well be a 6 month play, but and that's Mike's world. In the commercial world that we live in, we don't go in 6 month time frames. We would probably on the shortest would be like 18 months. 2 years to get the equity pop we want on a development or a heavy value add. It just doesn't happen in six. This is the reason why some people want to be residential broker and not commercial is because a residential deal closes in 30 days. A commercial deal takes us 6 months, a year sometimes. Nobody wants to screw around with their whole like, oh, I did this deal this whole year, you know?
Yeah.
It's just you can't wrap your head around working on something for that long.
I mean, that's why so few people start in commercial. Is because it takes me 2 years before
I get my first payday.
Yeah.
How do I get a payday? How do I survive?
I have a year before anything's in the pipeline, and then I have another year before it closes.
You got to have a spouse with a really good job and good benefits. That's allowed.
We know those.
Gonna let you go off and try to build a pipeline. So so we found out that Trevor is not yet a real boy. He gets excited, sort of. He thinks he's always excited, but he's now taking action. So he's finally taken my advice. How long have we been partners? For 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Hey,
so you're finally listening to me and taking action and writing offers. And now you're getting kicked in the nuts and brokers are telling you your offers suck. So that's good. You're doing a good job. I like that. Perfect. If we were under contract on 8 deals right now, I'd tell Trevor he's not allowed to write offers anymore.
It's true. It's true.
That's next week.
Let's go, baby.
Your model needs to be tweaked. Everybody's saying yes, we got a problem. Oh, man. All right, guys. Are we wrapping this up?
Yep, we got to go.
Okay. Deal Junkies, thanks for listening. Please share us. This episode is brought to you by Vesta Solutions. Trevor and Dane run a great company where they help you for free to put your name on more real estate. If you're a newer investor looking to get into your first deal or add a couple more units,
if you own
shut up,
under
Trevor.
20
Nobody
doors.
wants to hear what you have to say.
Let the salesman say.
Just kidding. What do you say, Trevor?
I was going to say, yeah, if you're a new investor or if you own under 20 doors.
Yeah, if you have 21 doors, do not call Trevor or Dane. They
Or under
suck.
30? I don't know.
Anyway, these guys are phenoms. They know how to buy real estate, and they have no money, so they need to go broker deals to make some cash. So they're going to put you into deals where you get to make millions of dollars, and they get to make tens of thousands so they can pay their bills, and you're going to get rich off of these guys. So do it for free. Don't take their class. Just call them and tell them I want to do deals, and or you can take their class if you want. But they're going to teach you all the stuff you need to do to buy more doors. So call Trevor and Dane at Vesta or email them. You'll find them online, vestasolutions.net. Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, please share us, and we'll see you next time.